Good morning, everybody. Okay, before we get going, I wanted to do a couple things. One is I wanted to ask Jack about the new painting over his couch.
Well, so Susan is always rearranging the house. So this exhibit moves to different floors.
Okay,
This painting is by a Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania artist named Roy Hilton,
uh-huh.
who painted in the 50s.
Wow,
And so this is called Overpass.
yeah,
But
yeah,
or you could call it an underpass, but it's called
yeah.
Overpass. And so Susan's parents, the family business was an art school, and from 1960 to 1980, and one of the teachers there was this guy.
Wow, okay. It's a very nice painting. I was
Yeah,
really enjoying it.
very 50s, very kind of,
Yeah,
mid-century.
yeah. It actually reminds me a little bit of Hopper.
Hopper, yeah, definitely.
A
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah. And Genevieve, I'm going to guess that you're sitting poolside. Is that correct?
I'm at the side of the soccer field where my little daughter is playing soccer.
Okay.
But it's almost as good as poolside.
Well, kind of sitting there with the people walking back and forth and drinking your Mai Tai, and yeah, you look really nice and relaxed, right? Jill, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. I just got my car completely packed out. I'm going to be driving up north with 8 of the boxes that were formerly sitting right over here.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go up to Lake County and drop those off, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to Harbin. So I'm in a good
Harbin Hot Springs.
Yeah.
Hot Springs.
Yeah. I need it.
Yeah. Good for you. And Catherine, what's going on in France?
She doesn't know. She doesn't care.
It's just very hot today, but otherwise I'm fine.
Oh, so it's hot again.
It's like 95 today.
Ouch.
Oh my goodness.
Anything over 90, I just lay down somewhere and wait until it cools down a little bit. But yeah. Okay, well, I hope it doesn't get any hotter for you there. And then I also wanted to ask Annie to share with you all something that she noticed in her practice earlier in the week. You told me that story.
Which story?
Well, just make one up, right? The last one.
I have been experiencing a kind of fullness. It started a couple of weeks ago that when I would do the TAIJI Qigong, I noticed that my awareness, my consciousness was different in my arms. They just feel full. It's sort of the only way.
It's hard. It's very hard to describe words.
Yeah, it's very, very hard to explain the difference. And I keep thinking about it when I'm doing it. It's like, am I perceiving it as something internal, and when I'm doing this, am I just much more aware of the resistance that's occurring because I'm actually moving through 14 pounds of resistance or pressure? So it's still a puzzle, and it's probably both.
It's probably both, exactly.
That somehow the balloon pressure is increasing, or my awareness of it on inside is increasing. I just feel more full, but I'm also really much more aware of that this is not empty, that there is a
medium.
A medium, that I'm actually
like
swimming in this medium.
So the kind of thing that Annie's talking about in a lot of ways is very subtle. It's one of the benefits, I think, of Qigong, because they're very simple exercises they're repetitive, and that lets you focus in on what's actually going on, because what's actually going on seems subtle to us. But for instance, what Annie was saying about, we're actually in a liquid. It's called a gas, but it's actually a form of liquid. We don't think about that. I don't think about it.
No.
99% of my day, I don't think about it. I'm just off doing my things. And all this is just empty. But the truth is, it's not empty. Yeah. That's honestly the truth. So I'm sure I've said this before, I'm sure you've heard it before, but I'm going to say it again. On every square inch of your skin, there are 14 pounds of pressure. And well, I don't really feel it. No, of course you don't feel it, because you grew up in it, you evolved in it, your ancestors evolved in it, you evolved in it, and it comes out. But think about this. This is 12 pounds. On every inch of your skin, there's 14 pounds of pressure. But do you feel it? No, I don't think so. But what Annie was saying is, in her practice, she's starting to become aware of it. It doesn't feel like pressure.
No, it doesn't feel like pressure, but it feels, I think it just feels like my ability to perceive and my level of consciousness. It has to do with perception and consciousness. Nothing has changed.
Exactly.
It's the thing that has changed is my awareness, my consciousness, my willingness, my ability to
slow down and notice.
Actually experience what I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense. And it's exactly what Qigong is about. It's about many things, but it's about becoming more conscious of just exactly what's going on around you and inside you. Okay, let's do some Fang Gong. Can you feel this? Can you feel this like you're in water? And Bruce. And verse. And touch the earth. And close your pores. Salute our masters and salute your classmates. Thank you, everyone. If you're going to stay for beginning Tai Chi, give me 15 minutes, so about quarter past or so, right? Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Ciao.
One of the reasons I like Qigong, honey, is you slow down long enough to actually start experiencing complementary fear.
Hey. Well, it may be hot in France, but it's cold here. I had to go around and shut the house up and turn the heat on. It's so cold.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, Annie was wearing a coat. It's too cold in the house. I like it cold, but she likes it a little warmer. Okay. So yesterday we were in the process of going through a couple of moves. This one is usually counted as a move, and then this one is counted as a move. Boom. All right. So as I remember, we got about halfway through that, right? So let's review that first half. Oh, we didn't even get to that part. We just did this, didn't we? Yeah, we just did that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me see you do it.
I got mixed up with the right and left, but
Do you want me to do it with my back to you?
yeah, please.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Practice that a couple times. I'm going to put my Tron suit on, so you practice. Watch this. It's done with the waist. Once you learn the basic move, which you've learned now you got to get your waist involved. Partly this is a matter of just changing the weight from one foot to the other. Let me show you. All right, your weight should start on the left. This is the left leg. All right, start on the left, go to the right, and then relax to the left, to the right, to the left. Left, right, left. Let's do the whole move here. All right. Weight to the left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So it's shifting the weight, right, from side to side and turning the waist. That's what powers this, not your arms. So once you learn basically what your arms do and your body does, then focus on your lower body. Focus on your legs and your waist. You make the arms go by making this go. You make this go by making your feet go. And so your feet move, your waist moves, right? And then your arms move. Try this. Put your feet side by side like this, right? And punch to the left. Now punch to the right. Simple. Not straight ahead, all the way over, 45 degrees. Yeah. Shift your weight. Shift your weight the whole way. Right? You could pick this foot up. You could pick this foot up. Yeah. Now turn your waist. Watch my hands. Watch. Right at your hip. That's my great trochanter bone there. All right. So they're not loose. All right. Shift your weight all the way. Turn your waist. Watch my elbows. They're not hyperextended. You never straighten your elbow out. If you straighten out your elbow, it locks the joint and it makes it very vulnerable to being broken. So don't do that. All right. You always keep a little flex in your elbows. Yes. Good. Good. Shift your weight, all your weight, 100%, foot to foot. Okay, this is a really good exercise for you. So I want you to do this exercise 10,000 times every morning, okay? Okay. Seriously.
Well,
What we're doing with this is just a variation on that. Yes, the hands are different, but everything else is the same. Huh? Instead of this, right, watch this part of my body down here. Right, there's the exercise. Now, here's what we're doing.
Mm.
It's the same thing. There's
Yes.
just a little change in what the arms are doing. But the engine down here, all this stuff is the same. So practice this exercise to get the basic feeling about how you use your body in Tai Chi to do things. Good. All right. Now, this exercise, I had you have your feet side by side, and you did like this. But you could put one foot in front of the other and still do that same exercise, right? So I'm going to put my left foot, here, I'll back up a little bit. I'm going to put my left foot ahead and my right foot back, but now I'm just going to do the same thing. Right? Everything's the same, just the footwork is a little different. But you're shifting your weight, moving your waist, right? And that directs your fists. All right, that's the position that we're in this exercise, in this part of the form, right? We've got the left foot forward. Relax. And 1, 2. All this is the same as the exercise. And 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. All right. So this is actually a silk reeling exercise. They've extracted this particular motion in the form and made it what's called a Dan Shi. Dan Shi means single exercise, single form. All right. So yes, this is just one tiny little part of the form, but it's so important that they actually took it out of the form and made it a silk reeling exercise. So the silk reeling exercise looks like this. You can make it like the form just by making a fist. All right, and then you do it on the other side. Right? It's the same exercise on both sides. right? Then you stand on your head and do it, right? No, you don't stand on your head and do it.
Sure.
So that's the basic idea. The point of this exercise and this part of the form is to engage your legs and your waist, to power the hands. Yeah, the hands are doing all this stuff. Pay attention to the hands, right? But that's not where the power comes from. The power comes from this, all right? So pay attention to that. Do that exercise, and it will really change your Tai Chi. If you pay attention to this everywhere in the form, you'll start to see how much of it there is. It's all the time. Watch this. Right? And I happen to have a really big one. Okay, so that's what you should be paying attention to in this movement. Let's make sure that we've got those 4 points, and then we will go on and finish this movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Do you see? Watch this. 1, 2. I'm sinking on this leg.
I just saw it. Yeah.
So I'm going to sink in my left quad. This is my hip joint here, called more or less called the quad, right? That's what I'm going to sink in. Sink, right? So it's flexing. Flex. Now you come out of that again. Boom. 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 One thing you can ask yourself as a student when you're watching a teacher, or you're watching another student, or you're watching someone in performing, is where is their chi? Now, of course, their chi fills their whole body, but the chi is going to follow the mind. So it's going to end up kind of turning into a ball that moves around the body. Where is the ball? Is it in his fingers? Is it in his toes? Right? Is it in his waist? Watch. I'm going to ask you, where's my chi?
Yeah.
Right out here. Boom. All right. Where's my chi?
Yeah.
Here. All right. Where's my chi?
Yeah.
Not exactly. Watch. That movement powers this. Is there chi in the fingertips? Yes, of course.
No,
But
but the power comes from here, of course.
yes,
Because it's not, yeah.
yes, this motion rests upon this motion.
Is the result of, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So as a student, you need to be watching for that all the time. That's how you learn. I was with my teacher for 20 years. He did explain these things. He did demonstrate them, but it wasn't all the time. In the whole time I was with him, 20 years, maybe 10 times. That was it. If you get it, then you can use it. If you don't get it, then he would just say, well,
How did you get it? Just by watching,
he
by doing?
he explained it a couple of times. Now don't forget, he didn't speak English.
Mhm. But
Yeah,
sometimes it's
yeah.
better.
Couple of words, that was it, just a couple of words. I didn't speak Chinese, but somehow we communicated. And how did I get it? To tell you the truth, Catherine, seriously, I'm still getting it. I'm
Yeah.
still working to understand it.
So it's not terrible if I don't get it yet.
No, it's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. This takes years to get. I'm not telling you today so that you get it tomorrow. I'm telling you today so that you get it over the next 5 or 10 years. Absolutely. No, I'm absolutely serious about that. That's what it takes. Period. This is the technical part of Tai Chi. It's not the soul part, but it's the technical part. If you can get the technical part, it gives you a lot of confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're doing and
Yeah.
why you're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then once you get the technical part and the
Yeah, I can work on the other.
now you can express the soul part.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just kind of a silly game. Otherwise, there's nothing wrong with most classes in the United States. There's nothing wrong with just kind of waving your hands.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. It's just not Tai Chi.
Well, yeah, it's empty. So
That's exactly right. That's exactly the word that they use in China. Empty. Right?
I don't want that.
Tai Chi.
I don't want that. It's why I want you to teach me, because I tried here in France twice, and it was so disappointing, really. I mean, like, I couldn't stand it. I mean, it's in a park, it's beautiful, but
yeah, it's very beautiful. It's everybody's just moving and they're very gentle and it's very soulful. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not Tai Chi.
Yeah, and you can see it because their hands are empty. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. There's something like lax about it. Like,
yes, of course, because it's empty.
Yeah.
It's like a balloon that all the air has gone out of.
Exactly. That's the good one. Yeah.
Okay, so to get back to what we were working on, you sink into the red line. And now you go from the red line to the Dan Chen and then over. So it's a movement like this. That's the movement that powers this. I feel like I need a little piece of very thin thinner even than this. I like my outfit a lot. I think my outfit's very nice.
It's very clear to me, at least.
I don't know, this is a little complicated. I think you already get this, but I'm doing this for my own benefit, just to see whether this would work. I think it's a little too complicated, right? But essentially, you're going from this point here
Right.
up and across the Dantian to this point here. And you can feel it in your body. Boom, 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 boom. That's what powers this. This is just floating on this. There's another way to think of this, Catherine, and this is a little higher level, but you can start to think about it. We think of the Dantian as being this point here, which it is. It's a ball. All right. It's a nice, your Dantian is probably the size of a marble, a little tiny marble. Mine was too when I began. Now it's a little bigger, right? And right is a ball. But there's another way to think about this, and this is equally true for you, although you are just a beginner. Everybody has this. The Dantian is a giant ball, and you exist inside of it. It goes from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, and the center of it is here. But all of it is the Dantian. Right? When you move Qi inside the Dantian, things you move in the center, things on the periphery also move or can move. You know the English word periphery?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, right, when I'm moving the energy here, my arm is on the edge of this giant ball, right? I'm moving what's inside, and that moves what's outside. All right? 1, 2. Now, 3. Where's the Qi?
Here. Here.
1, 2. I'm going to take part of my suit off. All right, Dantian, Qi moves here, Qi moves here. All right, watch. Into the red line. Now, into the Dantian, into the Qi is here. Now the Qi is here. So it's gone here and then back over here. My little signals are wearing out here. All right? It goes into here, then to here, then to here. Into the red line, the white dot on the right, the white dot on the left. And the arms float on all that. Now you could, let's go a little higher. We say this is the inside. This is the outside. The truth is, it's all one. There is no inside and outside. It's just one thing. Inside and outside are just a way of talking about it. There's truth to it. But don't get hung up on that phraseology. Don't get hung up on those words. This is the inside of my arm. This is the outside of my arm. But there's only one arm. It's the same thing. One. Into the red line. The right dot. The left dot. If you can get that, then your Tai Chi will be full, not empty. Because you're actually doing it on the inside and it expresses itself on the outside. The old Chinese, the translation of the old Chinese saying is, your power comes from your legs. It's directed by your waist. Go here, go here. It's expressed by your hands. It's not created by your hands. It's not directed by your hands. It's only expressed in your hands. It's created by your legs. It's directed by your waist. It's expressed in your hands. That's why you don't like these other classes. Because they don't.
I think I should practice with that in mind all the time, even if I go very slow.
Yes.
Just try this week to come to just like think about this all the time.
Yes.
I'm not sure that it's gonna. I think it's gonna be messy at the beginning, but
if you're like everyone else, it will be very messy at the beginning. It was very messy for me. You know what we're talking about here, there's nothing complicated about it. It's really very simple. It's just that we don't pay any attention to it. Just like in Qigong, we pay no attention to the fact that at sea level, and you live at sea level, there are 14 pounds of air pressure on every square inch of your body. Did you think about it? No, I don't think about it. Nobody thinks about it. But that's the truth. That's the truth of your living. And when you start to think about it, you go, oh, this is not empty. This is not empty. There's 14 pounds of pressure in every square inch of this world that we live in. It's a kind of liquid. We live in a kind of liquid. We call it a gas. And because it's transparent, we don't pay any attention to it. But the fact that we don't pay any attention to it doesn't mean it's not there. It is there. And in Qigong, you have the chance to perceive it. Because you slow everything down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Don't mentally race somewhere else, slow down. Pay attention.
Yeah, with this movement, yeah.
Watch these. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Inside, you're turning that ball. First thing, your mind turns. Second thing, your danqian turns because your mind is turning. Your danqian, keep your mind on your danqian. Consciousness is a form of energy. When you put your mind on your danqian, you're putting energy into your danqian by becoming conscious of it. you start to turn it. Oh, okay. That's not the only thing that's turning. The microcosmic orbit is turning. Up your back, over the top of your head, down your front, under your crotch, up your back. Oh, okay. The Danchen is turning, the microcosmic orbit is turning. Watch. You see how they disappear?
Yeah.
This is not the exercise. This is the exercise. Shift your weight. Turn your waist. We do these exercises and you do them for years so that your body just incorporates it. This is a martial art. You get into a conflict situation where you need your martial art, you don't have time to think about anything. Right? It has to already be in here. It's like you could teach me a little French. It would be very slow and messy. Right? But it would take me years to become fluent. I don't know what the French word for fluent is, but in English, fluent is derived from the same Latin root as flow.
The same in French, it's courant, which means it's relating to water. So
Yes, exactly. To get to that level takes a little time. Best thing for me to do would be to move to France so that I have to talk to everybody in French. And then I would learn much, much faster. If you want to learn this, Tai Chi is a language. It's a body language. And if you want to learn it, then you need to do these little exercises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on a second. When we do that exercise, most people think, okay, I'm standing here and I'm looking in this direction. Most people think what you're doing is going around in a circle here with your hands, right? Oh, you could do that as an exercise, right? But that's not this exercise.
I don't feel that.
This exercise should look like this. All right, I'm standing here. Not this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this one. Now, why? So this is shaped like a kidney bean, right?
Yes. Yes.
Why is it shaped like that? Because what you're really doing is this.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You're going all the way around. Now, your arms aren't going to go all the way around. So you end up in the exercise doing this over and over and over. And where you are standing is the center of the circle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the truth is, most people never get to that point. Right? They just don't get there. I might explain it to them, and they'll do it for a few minutes. And the next time we do that exercise, they're not doing it. In
Why
China,
why wouldn't they do it? Once you explain, you just have to think about it, and then you just want to do it right.
no, most students, no. Why not? Because it's work.
It is,
It's a lot of work.
but it's interesting.
You're standing in the middle of the circle. Or the other way. Now watch. It's the same thing. Tai Chi is actually very simple. The language is, yes, there is a lot to learn, absolutely. And yes, it takes years of practice to become fluent. But actually, it's much simpler than it looks at the beginning. Because the human body is relatively simple in a lot of ways, right? Circle. Circle. Watch these 2 points. Circle. Circle. What are these 2 points? Those are where your hip joints join your waist. So the basic movement is much simpler than things appear. And then there's many variations on that. So one variation is this. Another variation is this. Another variation is this. But they're all based on the same foundation. Okay, practice.
I will.
Yes, we'll see you next week. If not
Thank
before.
you. It was great.
You're
Really.
welcome. Good, good. Kevin, how are you?
Morning, Shifu. Good, you?
I'm okay. You can see I've got my Tron suit on.
I know. You need to patent that and make some money.
I love my Tron suit. I was trying to.
Did it get chilly last night with you?
What's
Did
that?
it get chilly last night with you?
Yes, it's chilly right now. We had to close the house up and turn the heat on.
I'm ready.
Yeah. In fact, I'll leave this on and I'll explain to everybody when they get here what this is about. But this is the good Tron suit this morning.
Yeah.
All right. Well, give me a couple of minutes here to decompress, and then I'll be back.
No worries.
I think I should be on the catwalk. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of exercises, very simple little exercises that if you do them will make a big change in your Tai Chi. All right. Watch this part, this out of 24 really, right? But watch this. If you just learn the outer form of that, that's called empty Tai Chi. So you might be okay with it. But if you don't have the insides, the Tron, right, that I've got here, your Tai Chi is always going to be empty. The reason that we do Tai Chi slowly is to focus on this, not this. So think about the old Chinese saying for Tai Chi. Your power is generated in the legs. It's directed by the waist. It's expressed in the hands. We all in Western culture, and this is actually true in the East too, but we are so hand-eye coordinated, spend so much time working with tools and doing this, we forget all this. And it's all about this. So when you learn Tai Chi, you think it's all about the hands. When the truth is, it's all about this. So put your feet side by side. Shift your weight. Now, when you shift your weight, you have to use a catenary arch in your body. You can't straighten this up and just shift your weight. Look how stiff that looks. I even stiffen my shoulders up. Relax your shoulders and watch. Now it's an arch. What's the difference? When you go like this, you're locking your hip joints. And maybe your knees too. Instead, you relax them. So they're very flexible. You can really flex into where the red line is here, into your quad. Good. All right. Turn your waist. Now, express it in your hands. You could express it in your elbows. You could express it in your shoulders. But let's just do the hands. So do this exercise 10,000 times every morning, right? And you're going to learn a lot. Now, this was with the feet side by side. You can do exactly the same exercise with, for instance, your left foot forward. Okay? So we're not side by side. Now we're left foot forward. Shift your weight. Turn your waist. And punch. Now watch. Watch this, not my hands. Watch. That's the same as this. The engine works the same way in both cases. What are these white points? They're my hips. My actual hip joints are not out here. They're in here. Seriously. Look at an anatomy book. Right? That's where this red line is coming from. Right? Now they're down a little bit, but I put them here in the waist because you're moving your chi one to the other. Move my chi, move my chi, move my chi. Shift your weight.
So you're not swaying as much as rotating.
There's more rotation going on. It's really obvious when the feet are side by side. It's rotating. With 1 foot back, it's the same thing. It's just you got 1 foot back. And when you do the form, this is what you should be doing. Once you know this with your hands, then focus on this, because this is really what Tai Chi is. There's another way to say this. The Dantian is a sphere inside the body. And that is true. It actually is a sphere inside the body. When you start Tai Chi, your sphere is maybe the size of a pea, or maybe a marble. And if you practice, it will grow to the size of a ping pong ball, and then the size of a small orange. And eventually you'll become like Grandmaster Fung. Well, it will be like a beach ball, right? It's huge. And that's true. But there's another way to think about this. That your Dantian is actually huge. And it encompasses your whole body from above your head to under your feet. You're standing in the middle of a sphere. And that sphere has a surface and it has an insides. We tend to pay attention to the surface because that's what we see, and pay less attention to this. But in Tai Chi, you reverse that. You pay more attention to this and less to the surface. But the truth is, the inside and the outside are actually the same thing. This is the inside of my arm. This is the outside of my arm, but there's only one arm. All right? When you move, you're going to be moving both the inside and the outside. So watch. Where's my chi? Where's my chi? So it's going from here to here. Here to here. That's the internal movement. The arm is just floating on that. This is the inside, this is the outside. But it's all the same sphere. Well, you can see this movement. Inside, outside. If I snap this, it becomes a martial art. If I just take it nice and slow and gentle and just pay attention to the mind, the energy, the body structure, now it's Qigong. Sink into the red line and then to the white dot on the right. And now the white dot on the left. Sink into the red line. And now go up to the white dot on my right. And now the white dot on my left, over here. If you consider Tai Chi as a martial art, you are anticipating that you might be in physical conflict at some point in your life. That's why you're doing a martial art. If you get into that conflict, you are not going to have time to work this out, to figure out how I should move. So you do years and years and years of practice so that it's not something you think about anymore. It's just something you do. Susan, we were talking about it last week, and I'm thinking about it again. Alexander Groyevich, or whatever his name is, playing the Rachmaninoff third. Oh my God, it just amazes me. But what he's done in music is what I'm talking about doing with our bodies. Not to become martial artists. We're all well beyond being martial artists. But you can use the same technology to integrate yourself. Mind, because this all starts in the mind, your energy, your chi, and your physical body. That's worth doing in and of itself. It's really worth doing. If your mind, your energy, and your body are in 3 different places, that's not the optimum situation. Right? So the advantage to me of learning Tai Chi is to learn to bring all those together. I think you could learn music and do much the same thing, at least if you were learning a kind of music that really uses the body, like piano or guitar. Maybe they do the same thing in flute. I'm not using my imagination. But they combine mind, energy, breath, and body. And the integration that comes from that is a form of self-realization. That's the point. It's not to become a martial artist. It's to become a me artist, right? It's to awaken and integrate those different aspects of our lives. Now, the truth is, my teacher, Master Zhang, never said a word about that. Master Feng was different. He would get into these kinds of conversations a little bit. Master Zhang, no. Master Zhang was very conservative. Master Feng was very liberal. They were very, very different people. Master Zhan, my teacher, absolutely worshipped Grandmaster Feng. Truly, he truly did. So this very conservative guy just thought the world of Master Feng. They were both really great guys. But this is the advantage of learning this. That's why we do it slowly. Because as you're learning, you know, I've done that move 100,000 times, at least. I'm still working on it. I'm not saying it's perfect just because I've done it 100,000 times, because it's not. But at least I know what I'm working on. You guys are right at the beginning. It doesn't matter how young or how old you are. It doesn't matter how athletic or how unathletic you are. All that matters is that you practice. Because every human being has this capacity. Every human being has the capacity to make music, to draw, and to do Tai Chi. Right? So, but pay attention. In the previous class, people were talking about how disappointed they were in European Tai Chi classes. And the same thing is true for most American Tai Chi classes. There's nothing about the inside. It's just, oh, we're just making beautiful, beautiful motions. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not Tai Chi. If you want to do Tai Chi, then you got to do what you guys have been doing, which is learn the outer choreography so that you've got something to work with, and then go into the inner choreography. And the inner choreography for this begins by sinking into the right, into the red on the left, and then shifting your weight back and turning your waist, shifting your weight back and turning your waist. If you can grab that much of this, are there other levels? Yes, there are other levels, but I don't think a teacher can teach you those levels. You have to find them yourself. So you get that very basic level where you learn the outer choreography, then you get the more intense level of learning the inner choreography. And then if you're going to be a good student, you just practice. You practice, 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 and the form will teach you. I say that all the time, and I think people think I'm just bullshitting them. I mean it. It's really true. It's like you learn to play the keyboard. Then you learn to play the composer. And if you get both of those at a reasonable level, and you keep practicing, the music, the score, the music itself will begin to teach you. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Tai Chi is so rich, like music itself. And it has enough to teach you for many, many lifetimes, I think.
Malcolm.
Yeah.
I also think that you just feel it when you're doing it. Like if you're not stable, or if you're like, it feels uncomfortable, you're like, okay, this is probably wrong. That's how I feel that it teaches you, because you just like,
that's
you
one
feel
of the, exactly, Rand. That's one of the main ways it teaches you. The truth is, you ought to be able to do a form from beginning to end without ever feeling that you're losing your balance, without ever getting to a place where your Tai Chi is empty. I'm doing something, but I don't know what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. It's empty. I don't know where my Qi goes. I don't know what's going on. Now, of course, every beginner begins there. Well, that's nothing wrong with that. Of course, you have to do it that way. But as what you're trying to do, if you're learning piano, is to master the piano. If you're trying to learn Tai Chi, you want to master Tai Chi. You want to become a master. Of course you do. That's what you should do. To become a master means from the beginning to the end, it's an unbroken thread of balance, of understanding, of moving your chi. It's not about being a mighty man or a mighty martial artist. That's fine. That's fine for 18-year-old guys. But as Rand was saying, if you just pay attention, Rand, I'll tell you what most people do. They'll do the form and they'll come on a place where they're unsure of their balance. Their balance is not very good. You know what they do? Rather than understand that as a place where they need to work on things, okay, I'm losing my balance. Why am I losing my balance? What am I doing that is causing me to lose my balance? Something's wrong. Instead, what they do is they rush past it to get on to the next thing and to get over that uncomfortable feeling of being unbalanced. I totally understand that. We all do that all the time in life. Don't we, Kevin? Right? We do this all the time. I do it, you do it. But the truth is, we shouldn't do it. We should go, something's not quite right there. Maybe if I really paid attention to that, I could figure out why I consistently lose my balance at this one point. What am I doing wrong? And what we discover, I'm not telling Rand anything because I know he knows this, but what you will discover is there's something subconscious in your mind. So for instance, it may be your body map, your internal map of how your body works. Do you ever think about that? Most people don't. All right. If you ask most people to point to their hips, this is what they'll do. Those are not your hips. Those are your cosmetic hips. Your hip joints are in here. If your mind says they're out here, instead of 4 or 5 inches in, you're going to lose your balance. Annie said she watched a video the other night about elephants. They blindfolded the elephants. And guess what? The elephants couldn't walk. They couldn't keep their balance. Oh, that's interesting. A lot of their sense of balance is visual. You take away the visual part and they don't know how to keep their balance. If you think that's not true of human beings, try doing the form. Try doing the first section of the form with your eyes closed. You will immediately find out that a lot of your sense of balance is visual. However, if you keep doing it every day, every day, every day, every day, you will get to the point where you're able to do the form with your eyes closed and keep your balance. You will have changed your consciousness. So anyway, it's about this, not about what's going on the outside. One of the problems I've always had with just teaching the outside of the form is everybody thinks that's all there is. So if I just kind of learn the outside of the form, right? Well, now I've got it. Now I know Tai Chi. Now, even on the outside of the forum, that's your ticket to get inside the tent. Inside the tent's where the real stuff happens. All right, let's go back to where we left off last time. Where's your chi? Where's your chi? We're not shifting our weight in this case, we're just turning and turning the waist. There's a move in the 71, which we'll learn next January, right? Called is shoveling something over your shoulder. Right? In this case, you do it without the shovel. You just hit them with the shoulder. Now speaking of your balance, right? Okay, let's work on that part of it here. I think we got up to here last time. Weight forward, weight back, and now you're gonna scoop under, and then lift this up your the front of your spine, up the Chong Mai. All right, and do mine. Now, I should do this facing. All right. This hand is going to come out, chopping out like this. So you might be hitting somebody with the edge of your hand. Right? You might be hitting with your fingers. And then you draw back and do a hidden hand punch. Spin. And kick. And then turn your foot. So there should be a jump in there. You can also walk through. To tell you the truth, the jump is actually a little easier if you can do it. Because you're also spinning at the same time. And when you try to walk through a spin, you can really reef your ankle. So just be a little gentle when you do it. When you're jumping and spinning, you don't reef your own ankle because it's not on the ground. All right. So you can just walk through this. I don't have a good walkthrough because I never used to walk through it. I would always jump. Let me adjust the camera a little.
Malcolm,
Yeah.
looks to me like you're leaving out the second thing.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I can't think about these things.
I know.
What does that remind you of?
You're leaving out the this part where you go boom, and then you do this.
Isn't that what you're talking about?
No,
No, because
Yeah.
you need the figure eight after doing it. You need to like,
right, and
Yeah.
and punch.
Let me see if I can remember it.
Okay.
Same move as the third move in the form. Okay, Rand, let me see you do it. And for whatever you do, don't forget that figure eight. Okay, Susan, let me see you do it. Okay, so we're out of time for today, but I'll prepare this for next Saturday. We need to clarify what happens when you do the jump, especially the footwork. And that's gonna take a little doing. We'll have to do it very slowly. But if you feel like doing the jump, you can do it, but we also need to work it out for just stepping through. So there's a very very particular. Well, I'm running out of camera room then, so we'll have to figure out, I'll have to figure out how to do this even in the camera room. I might even just, make those little feet like they have in a dance studio, where the feet go in certain directions. Well, this is a tricky little thing, and honestly, you truly can twist your ankle doing this if you're just walking through. So there are things that you can do. For instance, you don't just step forward like this. You step forward like this. So you're already halfway around. Right? So let me work on it this week, and then we'll do it next weekend. Yeah, Kevin.
I had this book. I got to track it down. I lent it to somebody, but it was a book of Chen Man Ching and Robert Smith. And there was a pullout at the end with the Arthur Murray dance steps for the whole 108 Yang style form. It was hilarious.
That's wonderful. Malcolm, I won't be here next weekend. I'm going to be in Tucson. Okay. My brother doesn't have any space for me to work in, so I'll have to check.
Me neither.
You're not going to be here next week, all next weekend?
No.
Okay, and Susan, you're not going to be here all
No,
week?
I can't. No, I can't do it at all.
All right, so let's just. What about the next weekend?
Next weekend I'll be in Tallahassee. I can do it there. Okay,
let's just skip next weekend. We won't do it because you're not going to be here, and
yeah.
that'll give me 2 weeks to prepare this. And then
okay.
And then we'll do this in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. See you later.
See ya.
Susan, enjoy.
Thank you. You too, whatever you're doing.